Hey, what's up, everyone? Ralph here. So the first corporate job I ever had, I was doing accounts receivable, right? Just regular data entry. Very boring, very tedious, very repetitive work. And it's easy, right? You just plug in numbers and pretty much that's it. You do that for 8 hours a day. And then eventually I moved over to accounts payables, right? Where now you're paying bills, kind of still repetitive work, but now you're getting higher pay, more responsibilities. Then eventually I left that company and then went over to another position where it was financial analyst, right? So you're dealing with more, you have more responsibilities and higher pay. So that's to say, like when you're trying to move up the corporate ladder, right? You start from the bottom, right? You're developing skills, you're developing relationships to move up and then higher pay, develop those skills and get a higher position where you can make more money. So when it comes to now, if I was someone that was actually like looking forward to moving up the corporate ladder and moving up, these are the things that I understand that I would need to do. But obviously for me, like this is not something that I was really shooting for. I always wanted to start my own business. I just worked in corporate because obviously I had bills to pay, right? I needed things, I had to pay my bills. But in this video, we have a young lady who talks about her job as being very easy and it's very repetitive and it's very boring. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna let her talk and then I'm gonna share my thoughts on it afterwards.
So I'm working right now. I work from home. I know all the girlies want a job that's work from home and it's easy and you get to chill literally in your bedroom and they supply you with your computer. It sounds like sunshine and rainbows, right? Let me tell you, they're probably gonna have you do data entry or some basic shit where you're super replaceable and it's just mindless work. And yes, oh my god, that's so much better than working in food service or anything else that pays pretty low. But let me tell you, my brain is fried and I feel like I have so much more potential than to be working on spreadsheets, making calls for people. I'm an assistant. Like, it's really getting to me. Yes, this is a very easy job. It's an entry-level job, but it's still really draining because all of the work is like very repetitive and tedious, and I don't want to have to be plugging in numbers and copying and pasting from a spreadsheet, entering data all day, every single day for 8 hours. It sounds so easy, but trust me, your brain, like, my brain is tired. My brain feels like I could be doing so much more than just staring at a screen for that long.
All right, so this is the thing, right? So when it comes to work, right, you have easy jobs and you have hard jobs, right? Now with the easy job, right, like I said, it's easy, right? But usually that's a very tedious job. It's boring, it's repetitive. You're doing the same things over and over. And like she talks about like, I feel like I'd be doing so much more. And that's when you feel that way, it gets to the point where like, all right, you know what? I think my skills exceed what I'm doing. And that's usually a good thing because then that means you should be moving on to something bigger and better, right? Something that's going to offer you more responsibilities. Because when you feel like that and you get to that point where you don't feel like your skills are being utilized enough, that means you need to move on to something bigger and more demanding. Right, and that's usually how it is. Easy jobs are just repetitive. You're doing the same thing over and over, and you feel like you can give more, right? Give more than what you're doing. It's like you feel like you're not being used enough, or you're not being used in the right way. And of course, that's how she feels because it's an easy job, and especially when you're working from home, right? You don't have that opportunity, right? Obviously, mingle with your coworkers, and obviously that's a privilege like a lot of people want. They want to be able to work from home because it feels like it's easier for them, right? They don't want to have to deal with the stress of commuting to the office, and that's just what everybody wants. But there's always also downsides to that. But like you said, you have the easy job, but then you have the hard job, right? Where you're gonna make more money, and yes, it's gonna be more demanding, right? They're gonna demand more from you. They're gonna require more work from you. They're gonna require more thought, and it's gonna be, and they're gonna demand more of your time. And for a lot of people, and you can see a lot of people when they talk about working a 9 to 5 job, they feel like they don't have that work-life balance. And that's the thing when you have a hard job. And when I say hard, it doesn't mean like when it comes more like labor, right? You have more intense labor-intensive jobs, but you also have the jobs where there's just more responsibility. And obviously, when you're making more money, there's gonna be more responsibility. You're gonna feel like they're demanding a lot. So there's gonna be and when it all comes down to it, it's just basically work, right? Whether you're doing an easy job, whether you're doing a hard job, the point is for a lot of people just that the one thing that they want is the autonomy, right? They want the freedom to be like when they work, how they work, where they work. This is what they want, right? Like, of course, she's working from home, which is what everybody wants, right? But yet she still feels like she's not what she's doing is she's still not being fulfilled, even though she's in an area where she feels very comfortable. She's probably in her bedroom. That's one of the best place to be when you want to do your work, right? But yet she still feels like she's not being used enough, and that's more because she's obviously just doing something she's not really like. Even though it's easy, she's not doing something that's fulfilling her, right? So you have to decide which one you want: the easy job, the hard job. Regardless of which one you choose, what you're really looking for is that autonomy to do what you want, and it's tough to have that a job, and what it really comes down to is just it's a job, right? A job is, most people don't like their jobs, right? Most people don't like their jobs, and what they really want is just the autonomy to do what they want. But it's a job, it's a responsibility. You have bills to pay, so you have to work. And really, what it really comes down to is like the solution is like obviously working for yourself, doing your own thing, right? But obviously in the beginning, the downside is that like, in the beginning you won't be making money right away. That's the good thing about having that job. You have the security of getting that money, that income right off the bat as soon as you get in. Starting a business, starting your own thing, it takes a while to build that thing up. But in the end, it's worth it because you have the freedom to dictate, to control your schedule and to control your income. And what she's really looking for is just obviously, because she can move up, right? She can move up to a more demanding job, right, and make more money. And hopefully that's the goal, right? Because obviously, like I said, if you're doing this job and it gets to a point where you don't feel like you're like, it's getting to a point where it's just too tedious, then that means you need to move up and get something more challenging. But obviously with that challenge, that step up, it's going to be more demanding, and I'm sure she'll probably complain about that, right? She'll be like, oh man, I don't have any work-life balance, I'm tired, like I work 9 to 5, I got to go to commute, and then I don't have any time for myself. And that's just the nature of the beast when it comes to working a 9 to 5 job, right? It's a responsibility, it's a duty. You have to do this in order to pay your bills, to get to do the things that you want in life, right? If you don't like that, then you have to find an alternative. Start your own business, but understand in the beginning, it is not easy. There's going to be weeks, months, years that you may not make any money, and you have to deal with that. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Make sure to leave a comment down below, hit the like button, share, and if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe. All right, so guys, take care and have a good one. Later.